Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, hanging out with you inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Hope you're having yourselves a tremendously awesome week, a good morning. Happy to be here with you. Happy to talk about a lot of different things that are going on today from these Heritage Hill Studios. Of course, Heritage Hill out in Pompey on Sweet Road. So easy to remember how sweet it is to be out there at the brew house in Pompey at Heritage Hill. And of course, their newest location, Heritage Hill North, which you'll find in North Syracuse. Heritage Hill on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, right there by Sweetheart Corner. So a lot of great ways to get involved with the awesome product that is Heritage Hill. So make sure you get out there today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you over. You could say DT sent me over, but you'll have a great time at Heritage Hill. A lot of great stuff, a lot of amazing people, great food, and of course, great drinks. And we ask, as always, that you drink responsibly. So appreciate you supporting our tremendous studio partner in Heritage Hill. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com is what's popping. We got to jump into the annoying moment of the week as we do every single Friday. You know there's a trio of segments that come to you on Fridays here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, starting with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel, DeWitt. Then we jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is what the acronym stands for, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A, Cicero, and Chick-fil-A Clay. And then the top dog of the week comes to you at 10 a.m. Eastern time to start hour number 2, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. And Andre Fontenette is going to be joining me from Syracuse Orange football history, coming on the heels of him becoming the new Gates Chili Varsity head football coach. Very excited about that. So I'll be sharing that with him and this awesome news and getting into Syracuse and his thoughts on Fran Brown and everything that is to come. Gates Chili, why it's great to be there, what he thinks about what he can do there, leadership, mentorship that he's had along the way, what he's learned, and so much more. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So let's go ahead and jump right into the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week, folks. There's, every week I'm always sitting here going, there's a lot of places that I can go to for the annoying moment of the week. And there is a lot of places that I can go to for the annoying moment this week. There's some very strange news that happens in the world of just in the world. It's not even in this sector or that. There's just crazy things that happen. Now, I'm a positive person. You all know that. And positivity is very important to me. It's very important to be kind. It is very important to be courteous. It's very important to be respectful and, to just continue to be good to others no matter what. You want to make this world better. You can't make it better by providing an eye for an eye, right? So you gotta be kind no matter what, even when it's hard. And it's easy to be, when everything's going well, it's easy to be kind. When everything's going well, it's easy to smile. But can you do it in times of strife? Can you do it in times of adversity? They always say that you find who somebody really is when everything is tough, when things go down and life gets hard. So, I mean, that's reality. And for me, I think what it comes down to is you got to be the best person that you can be and really understand that as crazy as life may get, being consistent to yourself, consistent to others, consistent to God is very helpful. So I know today might be hard for you, and I know we always have fun with the annoying moment of the week, but I want you to keep your head up and be the best that you can be. Always. And know that trying to be the best you is great. You might think you're not succeeding, but getting up and trying, saddling up and giving it your best that is trying and that is succeeding. That is doing a lot. So remember that. You don't have to win a Nobel Prize every day to feel like a champion, right? Don't have to win a championship every single day. Keep doing your best out there. Let's get into the annoying moment of the week. There's a few of them. Snakes on a plane, kind of. TSA discovered a bag with small snakes in a passenger's pants in Miami, Florida, man. Here we go. So airport security officers in Miami found a slithering bag of snakes hidden in a passenger's pants. According to a post on X by the Transportation Security Administration, aka TSA, aka the people that you see all the time when you're trying to get on a plane that you complain to and say, why do I have to take my shoes off? Just take your shoes off, okay? Be safe. Officers at the Miami International Airport, been there, found a small bag of snakes hidden in a passenger's trousers on April 26th at a checkpoint. So I know it's the annoying moment of the week, but, some of this news comes in at different times. So the post included a photo of two small snakes that were found in what appeared to be a sunglasses bag. The snakes were turned over to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, so that's nice. Who is getting on a plane with snakes in their pants? I remember ants in the pants. You remember that game? You had to flip the ants and try and get them in the pants. Sometimes I was really good at it. Yeah, you got to focus. You just have to have a certain laser focus. You almost got to you just got to be locked in, right? Snakes in your pants. Who would do this? Who would do this? And for what? They're my pets, Dan. They're my emotional support snakes, and they wouldn't let them on the plane. So I found a way to get them on. Kind of. Could you imagine being TSA? Now, I have spoken with TSA over the years about some cool things that they have found. I can't speak about them on a family show. I really can't. But TSA finds some stuff. And to me, I would kind of pull someone aside and be like, hey, we found this. Do you want to talk about it over here, away from everybody? Don't really want to embarrass you for what we just found in your bag. But there's some weird stuff that people bring through TSA. Mom, if you're listening, snakes. Snakes. Small snakes. Just in a passenger's pocket. Trousers, right? They tell you to take everything out of your pockets. Everything. So why this person would even put them in their pocket is beyond me. What would be the point of doing that when you know that the scan is going to show? The scan shows if you have, gum in your pocket. They tell you to take everything out of your pockets, including your snakes. But then there's probably people now that'll joke when they're at Miami Airport. They're like, is that a snake in your pants? It's like, why don't you come and check? You know what I mean? So I'm not going dirty like that, but you know what it is. Snakes on a plane. Almost. In a way. Another story, the annoying moment of the week, is that someone claims to have an emotional support alligator. Let's discuss. A Pennsylvania man who credits an alligator named Wally for helping... Well, but see, here's the good story about this. An emotional support alligator sounds strange. And the reason why I would call it the annoying moment of the week is my mom, has worked in the airline industry for many years, and people will try and come on the plane with an emotional support peacock. Somebody tried to come on a plane with a guinea pig, and there was a letter with this guinea pig that stated that this person can't go to the bathroom without the guinea pig. They can't do anything without the guinea pig. And then my mom looked at her and said, you can't get on the plane with this guinea pig. And then she walked away and she goes, okay. So it's like, come on. She was lying, obviously. She's like, I can't live without this guinea pig. And then my mom's like, well, you can't bring the guinea pig through security. And they're like, all right. She just walked away. Like, whatever. Fine. Okay. I don't need the, we're going to have to check the guinea pig. Can't bring it on the plane with you. And she just goes, okay. And walks away after saying that she can't go to the bathroom without the guinea pig. Now, listen, people go through depression, they go through anxiety. I'm not going to knock any animal because I believe, Lily is my daughter, and she treats me like her dad, and I love her dearly. So, an emotional support alligator sounds strange, but It helped this Pennsylvania man with his depression. And it went missing during a vacation to the coast of Georgia. Joy Henney has thousands of social media users following his pages devoted to his emotional support alligator named Wally. And he posted photos and videos of people petting the 5.5-foot alligator like a dog or hugging the alligator like a teddy bear. Now, last year, the gator was denied entry to a Philadelphia Phillies game, which would be ironic if the Phillies had a Florida Gator on their team. But Henney said he is distraught after Wally vanished while accompanying him on an April vacation in Brunswick, Georgia, a port city 70 miles south of Savannah. I've been to Savannah a couple times. He said he suspects someone stole Wally from the fenced outdoor enclosure where Wally spent the night. So, Henney said pranksters left Wally outside the home of someone who called authorities, resulting in his alligator being trapped and released into the wild. We need all the help we can get to bring my baby back, he said on TikTok. Please, we need your help, end quote. So, I'm not here in any way, shape, or form to make fun of Henney, who, says that this alligator has helped him through depression. But whoever stole this alligator, that is an annoying moment, right? And, I mean, it's just, I believe that animals have souls. I believe every living thing has a soul. And these animals really can connect with you. I taught a toad how to ride a pullback police motorcycle, and he would grip the handlebars, and when it would stop, he would put his foot out, and he'd try to push it along down the road. I mean, I literally taught this toad how to do it, and he enjoyed riding this motorcycle. So to me, can there be an emotional support? Anything? Yeah, I do. I believe that. I believe that. I feel like it would be really difficult to get the alligator anywhere. But here's my thing. So I hope Wally finds the alligator. I hope the alligator's safe and sound. If anybody stole the alligator, karma is only a B if you slap her. And I want you to remember that. So please return Wally. But the thing that I wonder in society now, and I was at the mall, I was at Destiny USA a few weeks back, and there was a guy and his girlfriend and their dog, and the dog wasn't an emotional support dog. It was a dog, and not a dog that was there with a vest on or anything. And they were just walking around, and they said, hey, we're trying to get our dog acclimated with society, trying to get the dog around people. And they said, we're going to keep walking around the mall until somebody asks us to leave. And then if they ask us to leave, we'll just go somewhere else. And I started thinking about that. I'm like, my dog is so well behaved. She's so good. Do I have to put a vest on her, or can I just bring her wherever I want? I've seen dogs in Target. Nobody stops them. I've seen a dog in Kohl's. Nobody stops them. They had clothes over the dog. They were pushing the dog in the cart. I remember the lady said, she's pushing the dog around. That's an annoying moment when you punch your microphone. And so, me 1, microphone 0. So, the microphone's gotten me before, though. So, in all honesty, we're probably tied. Or you're winning, microphone. I'm sorry. But when you look at, it's like, remember when Jim Boeheim in the microphone? I would never do that to my mic. I love my microphone. But Jim, my goodness. I was there when the microphone started to not work again years later. And he was like, he kind of looked down and it was like, remember what happened last time? So, he's got some comedy in him. I don't think people understand that. Jim Boeheim's got some comedy in him. And always been nice to me, so appreciate you, Coach B. But when I lost my train of thought here so the dog. So when I was in Kohl's, I'm walking around Kohl's, and there's at least a 40-pound dog in the cart, and this lady's putting clothes. She's picking out clothes and throwing it on top of the dog. And I'm like, I hope she's buying all these clothes because they're all over her dog. I don't know if her dog sheds. Looks like a dog that would shed. And and the dog starts barking. She's like, shut up. And she has like this clothes. You can see the dog's head. She's like, shut up. You're going to get me in trouble. And I'm like, well, I mean, you just brought the dog in. You didn't ask if you could. But I feel like that's what it is now in American society. We don't ask anymore. We just do. That's an annoying moment. You just do whatever you want. Well, I'm going to do what I want. And if I got to ask for forgiveness, I'll ask for forgiveness. But I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. And see, I try to be kind. I'm like, okay, well, my dog doesn't have a vest on. I can't bring her into this place. I want to bring my dog everywhere I go. Lily's incredible. And like I said, she's my daughter. Who am I to say Wally's not a support alligator? Maybe he is. When I originally looked at it, I'm like, wow, that story's ridiculous. That's in the annoying moment of the week. But then when you hear that it helped this guy with depression and didn't attack him, then you're like, oh, okay. But then there's the people that have pet snakes, and then the pet snake like tries to eat them or strangle them after being their pet snake for a certain amount of time. So the pet snake was playing the long game, literally and figuratively. So, but you know, I have a pet anaconda. Really? Okay. I wouldn't fall asleep around it, but all right. So, yeah, I mean, to me, I would bring Lily anywhere. I'd bring her anywhere and everywhere. But I'm like, can I? And then you see these people in the mall and they're like, well, we're going to walk around with our dog until somebody kicks us out. So I feel like people are kind of just doing their own thing these days. Here's a story about a Utah cat. A fineness for cardboard took a surprise California trip in an Amazon box. Lily does not like cardboard, by the way. So Galena, a 6-year-old house cat from Utah, likes hiding and playing with cardboard. Earlier this month, earlier on this month here, the combination of the two made for a trip in an Amazon package. So her family is still waiting to reintroduce cardboard to her again. That's a very strange thing to say. Owner Carrie Clark said, because they don't want to stress her out. Clark got Galena as a kitten after her aunt rescued a pregnant feral cat. The American short hair with calico and Siamese coloring has been a constant companion, emotional support. So Galena disappeared back on April 10th. They searched the neighborhood, put up flyers, and posted notices on Facebook. Facebook lost pet pages in Lehi, Utah. And let's see here. Clark said she received a text that changed her life on April 17th that Galena's microchip had been scanned. So Clark knew she had been found somewhere. Soon after, she got a call saying her cat was near Riverside, California, after being found in a box, along with steel-toed boots that had been returned to an Amazon warehouse. How does this happen? How is there, like, somebody's got to know what's in the box. Clark's husband had ordered several pairs of boots, kept one and returned the rest in a large. So her husband's getting steel-toed boots, get it, and yeah, so they said the cat must have jumped in the box without them knowing. Amazon employees knew just who to call when they found the cats. My goodness. It's crazy. Yeah. So, husband returning steel-toed boots to Amazon, and the cat jumps in the box. You don't check the box before you tape it up? You just put the box in the closet. You know that your cat likes jumping inside a cardboard. Could you imagine? Somebody, you go to Kohl's with a box. I'd like to return these boots. Excuse me, sir. I think your box is meowing. No. I just want to get rid of these boots. But how does that happen, right? And this husband, I hope he lives it down. I really do. Because now when they get in a fight, she's going to be like, yeah. Well, at least I don't leave the cat in a box and ship it to California and make the whole family go crazy. But, you got steel-toe boots in a box. On top of the fact that you know your cat likes cardboard and you're not checking on that. You're not checking that. How do you not check the box before you close the box? I always check the box. I check the box and make sure everything's in there. I tape it shut. But this cat went on a trip. How about that? And the cat had a chip. Scan the chip. Maybe when they're scanning the steel-toed boots, they picked up something else. They're like, what is that? So, hey, At least the cat is back home. That's a good thing. How about this lady? Danish police pulled over a woman who locked herself in a car in her car and refused to talk. A traffic stop on a highway south of Denmark's capital. 26-year-old woman locked herself in the car, refused to speak to police officers who had pulled her over. The Central and West Zealand police said in its daily report that the woman, who was not identified, was originally pulled over near the town of Cogue, I would say, and for talking on a handheld cell phone while driving and not wearing a seatbelt. Two things that are wrong, folks. They also noted that the tires on her car were worn out. There was no rear window, and the vehicle's insurance had expired, so this was a fun pullover. To open the car, the officers had to call a mechanic. Well, how about this? Why don't they just go through the rear window? If there was no rear window, you just walk. She locks herself in the car, you just walk around the back going, ma'am, don't make this difficult, right? Obviously, your rear window is open here. So they found two. So inside the car, police found two folding knives, leading to additional charges. It's crazy. And in Denmark, police can search a vehicle when they pull it over for a traffic violation. So yeah, woman locked herself in a car and refused to talk to cops. Pulled over for a lot of reasons, and the rear window was open. Come on. I would literally just point through the back. I would just get on the megaphone. Ma'am, we can see you. And we can hear you talking to your friend right now. So why don't you go ahead and get out the car? The other annoying moment of the week, that's ridiculous. See, but that's the thing. And the reason why I put it as the annoying moment of the week is cops' jobs are hard enough. They are very difficult. And it's dangerous. Now when a cop pulls somebody over, they don't know. Are they going to have a gun? Are they going to have a knife? Because you have to pull over and walk up to the vehicle. It used to be that people in the car were, like nervous. Like, okay, I was going 70 and at 50. Cop pulled me over. I'm going to do my best to get out of a ticket. Now a cop's got to think about, is this person going to try to shoot me? Is this person going to flee the scene? Is there something else going on here? Okay. Be nice to cops. Cops, be nice to people. Golden rule. Okay. And it's very simple. Treat others as the way you would want to be treated. My other annoying moment of the week, and I got to hit this quick here because we're going to jump into lead. But my other annoying moment of the week is I have been having intense dreams about my ex-girlfriends and my ex-wife. And I'm in these dreams in relationships with these people, fully knowing that we're not together and knowing the reasons why we're not together. But I've been having these like vivid dreams of people that I'm not with anymore. And I'm like, and then you wake up and you're like, I'm not dating anybody. I don't have that great woman in my life that's my girlfriend, and so on and so forth. So I go into my dreams to go through turmoil, and I come out of my dream single. So, I look forward to the day where when I'm awake, it's like, yeah. And then when I go to bed, and you wake, because they always say, wake up to a life that's better than your dreams. And that's been easy the last few weeks because my dreams have been about my exes. So I always wake up to a life that's better. We'll take a step aside on a fast break. They're not bad people. They just, people do things and people make decisions. And hey, it's just to go back and relive it, though. I mean, like, I can vividly go back into the house I was in last night. I was in my friend James's parents' house, but I was dating somebody. It's so weird. It's like, because I'll know the locations. And it's like, I'm dating this one girl, and then I'm dating this other girl. But I have these dreams about, and I've also dreamt about beautiful women that I'm dating, that when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I've never even met this person. I don't even know how I dreamt up this face. So it's been very interesting to be in my dreams in these because I've been watching Fallout. So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching Fallout at midnight. I'm going to go to bed. I don't want to dream about these like terrifying monsters and all this stuff because the show is like bloody. It's based on a video game. Really good show on Amazon Prime. You should watch it. But it's about like a post-apocalyptic world, nuclear bombs go off and all that stuff. And to me, it's a really it's a movie about the human condition, or a TV show about the human condition and all that stuff. But I mean, to me, I think it's good. I think it's a good show. I do. And instead of dreaming about that, which I'm happy that I don't, I dream about my ex-girlfriends continuing to hurt me and confuse me in my dreams. However, when I wake up in the morning, life is always better. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this with Lead. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Go and get the DT Dolphin exclusively on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is mint chocolate chip ice cream, green for the Dolphins, with hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles for Lemoyne, and, of course, a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. We'll see you over at Carvel DeWitt inside the Heritage Hill Studios. Wake Up Call will be back right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the tastes of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Heritage Hill with you out on Sweet Road in the beautiful rolling hills of Central New York in Pompey, New York at the Brew House. And, of course, in their newest location, Heritage Hill North, you will find them on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York, at Sweetheart Corner. So make sure that you go and visit their locations. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you, and enjoy your drinks that are made right here in the community, food made right here in the community, and with the people that care so deeply about this community, led by Dan Palladino. So much love and appreciation for Heritage Hill, and proud to have them as our exclusive studio partner. It's time inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com to jump into LEAD. LEAD is an acronym that we've had on the show since 2019. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is the acronym. Today's topic brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Beyond the surface. Are you looking beyond the surface? Because surface looks good, right? You could look into the water from a cliff and say, I'm going to jump off of this thing. Right? I'm going to jump off this cliff into the water, have a great time. But did you look into the water to see the jutting out rocks that are just 3 feet below the surface? You have to look beyond. And that is a telltale example. Here's another example, but a different one. They always say that you only see a piece of the iceberg of a person, but most of them is under the surface. So do you look beyond the surface? Do you seek to understand more than what meets the eye? Because in the world that we live in currently, with social media and all this stuff, people don't even need makeup anymore. You realize that? You don't even need makeup to look different. You just need a filter. And there used to be a few filters. Now, there's so many filters, and within the filter, there's a filter of the filter. You can take the filter and change the filter. You can change what a person looks like. You can tone their body. You can contour their face without even having to do anything. You don't have to work out anymore. You don't have to buy makeup anymore. You just have to sit on social media, hit your angles right, and change things. That's scary. You got to look beyond the surface. And let's say that you've gone beyond that, right? You've gone beyond the makeup. You've gone beyond the contouring and the filters. You still have to look beyond the surface. See, there's people that I've dealt with that were surface dwellers. Just surface. There was a girl that I was looking to date, and I thought I liked her. And she turned out to be a very surface-dwelling person. And she relied on her looks. She relied on her body. It's what I look like. I'm hot. People think I'm hot. So she tried to use that. And I said, no. I want to learn about you. And the more I learned about her, the more I'm happy that I didn't just live on the surface. Because the surface so many times looks good. Think about walking through a jungle, walking on a beach, thinking, wow, this is beautiful. This jungle is beautiful. This beach is awesome. But there's landmines underneath the sand. There's landmines underneath the shrubbery and the trees. You have to look beyond the surface. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because I'm 38 years old and I've learned that you have to go beyond the surface of a person. Because people are going to show you the best versions of themselves, especially in public. Especially in public. I've met people that are notorious for being very fake in public because they need to keep up an appearance of who they want people to think they are. And I laugh at it because I know who that person is. You have to go beyond the surface. Or else you're going to be giving information to people that don't have your best interest. You're going to be putting your head on the shoulder of someone who's ready to stab you in the back. Again, I'm not telling you this is a negative thing. I'm telling you this is a learning tool. You have to look beyond the surface of people, because people will show you their best self on social media. They will show you their best self on a dating app. They will show you their best self when they're out in public and people are watching. But who somebody is behind closed doors, no makeup, no filter, no BS smile and fake laugh, that's who that person is. So when you get to know people and you say, hey, I love this person. Hey, I care about this person. Hey, I do anything for this person. I thought about this yesterday. You have to know what you're saying, because in the moment, your emotion is real and you might be very genuine, but you don't know. If you don't know that person, and you're not going to know everything about a person, you're never going to know every single thing about a person, but you better know who you're talking about and who you're thinking about. There's people that I thought I knew, and things along the way would make me go, oh, okay, I don't really like that, or I wouldn't do that, or that seems a little different. And then that person goes and does to you something that you saw them do to somebody else. They cut you off quick. And you think to yourself, well, why would somebody do that? And you could have the best intentions in life. I've thought about this the last couple of days. You can have the best intentions in life. You can go with a pure heart, a sound mind, and just love inside of you. And the person on the other side who you care deeply for, who you genuinely tell, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm proud of you, I'm here to help you. Just because, and this is one of the hardest things for people to understand, hard for me to understand. Just because you have pure intentions, I think in our minds and in our hearts, because we have pure intentions, we automatically think that the person on the other side does too. Because we came with an open mind and a good heart, we think that they did too. So when someone hurts us, we say, well, how can they hurt us? But we're basing, how could they do this, on our standards, not on theirs. It's on our standards. Well, I could never do this to somebody because I wouldn't say I love you if I don't love you. I wouldn't help you if I didn't want to help you. I wouldn't be there if I didn't want to be there. I've given you a ton of chances. You left me no choice. And see, that's one of the hardest things, is that in relationships, business, friendships, dating, that I've dealt with, when somebody hurts me repeatedly, they say to me, well, Dan, you believe in Jesus. What would Jesus do? Jesus would forgive me. Jesus would say it was fine. Jesus would give me another chance. And to me, that's using Jesus as a pawn. It is. It's saying, Jesus said that I can continue to hurt you as many times as I want, and you got to suck it up and take it. No, you don't. And I don't know a God. I don't know Jesus. Does Jesus forgive sins? Does God forgive sins? Yes. But we're not talking about the forgiveness of sins. We're talking about keeping that person in your life. Forgiveness does not mean you get to stay. Forgiveness doesn't mean you get to keep doing it. And I don't know anywhere in the Bible where Jesus said, I'm going to forgive you, but you can keep sinning over and over and over again, and I'm just going to keep forgiving you because I'm going to be this endless well of forgiveness, even though you're going to keep sinning, and every time you ask for forgiveness, you're going to do it 5 minutes later. That is not what forgiveness is about. And when you forgive somebody, it's not saying what they did was okay. It's not saying you agree with it. It's not saying you're for it. It's not saying you appreciate it. And I think we get lost in life when you are a person that follows God, when you are a person that believes in God. You get lost in this, okay, I'm going to give him another chance, because you're going off of your standards. You're going off of, when you sin, you are sorry. When you make mistakes, you do feel bad. You ask God for forgiveness. You try to show somebody you're going to be better. My dad tells me this all the time. He says, not everybody is you, my son. Not everybody is you. And it's a really hard thing to take in, because I'll call up both of my parents and I'll go, Mom, Dad, like, this person's my friend. I've worked with this person. I've helped this person. I've been by their side. I would do anything for this person. And they just threw me in the trash. and they blame me for it. What do I do? And they just say, hey, you know, some people do things and you can't explain them. They're not always going to treat you the way that you treat them. And it's sad and it's hard, but one of the most difficult things in life is to watch somebody you care about and you love working with, you love being their friend. We all have people we worked with that we don't talk to anymore. We have people that we're friends with that we're not friends with anymore. We were friends with. We have people that we dated that are now exes. And it's not that there's not places where both people can be better in any relationship, but what's annoying about certain situations is people say there's always two sides to the story. And yeah, that's true. But sometimes, like the Mitchell Tenpenny song, there are two sides to the story. One's the lie and one's the truth. And, you know, I mean, I can sit here and tell you, and I talk freely on my show, I can tell you that, you know, my ex-wife and I could have been better in certain areas. She could have been better in certain areas. But our relationship broke very clearly. And if none of the other things were wrong, she did something that broke it in the end. Now, she could tell a totally different story to the world. I have no idea what she says. I have no idea. But I know why I know why it broke. And she knows why it broke. And whether or not that truth comes out, she knows it and I know it. Now, I don't need to blow up her spot. And I hope her the best. I pray her the best. I hope she's okay. I hope she learned from our relationship. I most certainly learned from our relationship. I learned a lot of things about myself. I wasn't being good to myself. I was not being the best that I could be at everything. And, you know, I think I learned a lot from being in a marriage that should have never happened. And I hope she learned a lot. And I hope if I saw her on the street, I hope she's smiling. I hope she's healthy. I hope she's the best version of herself. I hope she learned from us. And I hope she has no malice or ill will. And I certainly don't. And I pray her the best. It's hard in situations when somebody does something that you would never do or says something that you would never say. Maybe, you know, and there's times where I could have done that, where I said something in a relationship in the middle of an argument, and I'm like, and maybe that girl's going, I would never say that, but I said it. And I know full well one of those examples. And I didn't even mean what I said. And, you know, I'm not a person who hates. And I use the word hate. And it just kind of came out of me. And as it was coming out, I'm like, I don't mean this at all. There's no part of me that actually means what's coming out of my mouth. But I could see in her eyes that it was like, I would never do that to somebody. And I wouldn't either, but I couldn't get her to believe that at that time because, you know, you say a word and even if you don't mean it, you said it, and that's hard for a person. So there's so many times in life where you can be better, I can be better. Anyone can be better. And I think that we have to go beyond the surface and really figure out what we're dealing with and who we're dealing with, because people will make mistakes. But there's a difference between making a mistake and actually being that person. There's this thing that I've been bringing up this week that I can't take credit for. I learned it from Rob Drummond, who put it out there, and I think someone else had put it out there too. But it was the first time somebody does something, it's a coincidence or a mistake, whatever you want to call it. First time somebody does something is a coincidence. Second time that they do it is a habit. The third time they do it, it's their lifestyle. And I just feel like we have to look beyond the surface and really start looking at people, realizing that we see people through our eyes. We see people through our morals, our values. We see the world through what we value and what matters to us, right? If I was a person that valued money, I'm seeing people as dollar signs. Who's going to get me that money? I'm not seeing their personality. I'm not seeing what they love. I'm not listening to them when they talk. I'm just like, how can this person make me money? And I'm seeing a dollar sign. That person's $1 sign. That person's $2 signs, $3 signs, determining to me that the $3 sign person is the one I want to be around because I want to make that money. And that's how some people look at people. I would never do that, but that's how some people do that. I only want to associate with people that got big money. That's some people's thought process, not mine. And so we see the world through our eyes, through our values, through our morals, through our faith in God or lack thereof. And when you start realizing that, you hopefully start feeling a little bit less pain when someone hurts you, understanding that they're not seeing the world through your eyes. They're seeing the world through their eyes, through the things that they care about or they don't care about. When you wonder, how can somebody hurt me? How can someone end a friendship when I didn't do anything? You know, I think we all have a friend where we sit here and we go, I was nice to that person. I loved that person. I treated them like family. And then one day they were just gone. And you think to yourself, well, I'm sure if I asked them, why are you gone? They would have a reason, whether it made sense or not, whether it was true or not. They probably have a reason. But you have to dig deep and understand that beyond your surface, who you are underneath, that always comes out. It always comes to the light. But you have to spend the time to get to know people, to get beyond their surface. Because most people are going to smile, contour, filter what you see. And you have to be able to see beyond it. You have to take the time to see beyond it. Or else suffer the circumstances of knowing that a lot of people live with facades. A lot of people live with facades. There are people that smile and they go home and they're depressed and they're anxious and they're sad, but they're trying to show the world that they're fine. And I think the most courageous people are the people that go to those that they love the most and say, I'm not okay. And that's one of the most hurtful things, is when you have friends and loved ones and girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, and you go to them and be your true self and you show them who you are and your pain and your happiness and your pride and your vulnerabilities, and they take advantage of it. Or they don't appreciate it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everybody appreciates you, because they don't. But I will tell you that people do what they want to do. And if you really want to know if someone cares about you, you're not going to have to look that hard, because beyond the surface, they'll show you. They will show you. The surface always needs maintenance. You're always going to need makeup, right? If you start wearing it and then you're 40, you want to look like you're 20, right? The surface is always going to need makeup. The buildings are always going to need upkeep. You got to pressure wash. The surface will always need work to make it look a certain way. But who you are beyond the surface, that is something that no amount of makeup or filters or pressure washing can change. You have to change that. You have to determine who you are. And you have to really pay close attention to who your circle is and who they aren't. Because not everybody sees the world the way that you do. And it doesn't make them bad people. They just might not be your people. It's a tough truth. It's a hard truth. I'm living it. You listening and watching are living it. But I would much rather know now, before you put any more energy in, to the people that may not feel for you and love you and care for you the way that you care for them. It doesn't mean you stop praying for them. It doesn't mean you stop caring about them. It means that God fights for you in rooms you're not in. And that gut of yours typically doesn't lie. So pay attention beyond the surface. This has been Lead, Learn, Evolve. It's a tough thing. We're going to have Andre Fontenette on here in a second. It's a tough thing to learn, man. And I don't know exactly how to end the segment, because it is a really difficult thing to learn. And it's just very hard, and it's hurtful. And it's at times, gut-wrenching. With the people that you think are going to be there forever, and they're not all going to be there forever. Et tu, Brute. Caesar said it. Jesus Christ himself. Think about Judas. Right? The Son of God was betrayed. If the Son of God was betrayed, you should not be surprised if you are. And you see, and I think the hardest thing is we see people being successful after they betray us, after they hurt us, after they do something horrible, after they do something mean, after they turn the story a certain way, after you feel like you did the right thing, and then you see them out there just gallivanting around and having a great old life. Don't be mad at them. Don't be upset. Don't be bitter. Understand that I want everybody to win in this world, and we should want everybody to win in this world that's doing good things. Morals and values and positivity. As long as you're not serving the devil and out there doing hateful things, I hope the best for your positive success. But we got to stop wishing bad on others and wanting karma to get them. And we need to just appreciate that once you go beyond the surface and you learn about somebody, it can save you from what could have been to come. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back here with Andre Fontenette in just a second. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. You can find us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the country. YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com right here inside of the Heritage Hill Studios. Our exclusive studio partner, Heritage Hill out in Pompey at the Brew House on Sweet Road, and their newest location, Heritage Hill North, which is right by the airport and so many sectors of our wonderful community. You can close to East Syracuse, North Syracuse, as well as Syracuse itself, downtown Syracuse, not too far away. You can find it by Cicero, Clay, Liverpool, so on and so forth. Very centrally located at Sweetheart Corner on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse, New York for Heritage Hill North. I don't know if he knows this, but before we get Andre on the show, I made him something this week. Andre's my top dog of the week. And he's my top dog of the week because, number one, I enjoy talking with him. Number two, I appreciate our friendship. And number three, because he just got an opportunity that I'm really proud that he has. Gates Chili varsity head football coach is now Andre Fontenette. He has the opportunity of molding young minds, continuing to do that, and doing it as the head football coach. And when I saw this week, when it came across my social media, I thought to myself, there's no other top dog of the week. I'm reaching out to him, get him on the show, and I'm going to honor him. Proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, two fantastic places to trust with those dogs that are part of our family. And to me, when we talk about family, we talk about trust, we talk about people we appreciate, Andre is one of those guys that from day one of our conversations has been somebody that I can trust, somebody that makes time for me, someone that has shown me that connection to the Syracuse alumni that means so very much to me, that bridge that I've been trying to build for over a decade now, has really bore so much fruit of good people that really do care. So when you see them win, when you see them eat, when you see them have these awesome experiences and opportunities, it makes the whole family happy. So with that being said, my top dog of the week is here with me picture in picture, and I'm very honored to celebrate the Gates Chili Spartans varsity head football coach right here on the broadcast, Andre Fontenette. Mr. Fontenette, how are we doing today?
What up, D? How are you?
I'm doing well, man, and I'm definitely appreciate this. First and foremost, congratulations on the opportunity. Congratulations on the fact that, you know, we get to celebrate this. We're bringing you in on screen right now and going to have the opportunity to have a nice conversation with Andre here. So, I mean, first and foremost, Andre, this moment for you means blank. The Gates Chili varsity head football coach. Bring me into finding out the news and just what this moment means for you and your career and your journey.
Well, first thing is, Dan, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I would be wrong if I didn't tell you. It's not chili, it's chai-lai.
Oh, chai-lai. Sorry about that. Pardon me.
Chai-lai, it's chai-lai, New York, and that's okay. A lot of people make that mistake, but I'd be bad if I didn't tell you that. But the opportunity, the opportunity means everything to me because, this was something that was in the making for a long time that I felt like was on my mind, had become a goal over the past 10 years since I came back to Rochester. And, I've been coaching ball 19 years. So, I feel like it's an opportunity and a blessing, and, I'm thankful.
I'm going to say this, my fault on chai-lai for sure. I see it. I'm Hispanic. I'm hungry. So I see chili, I feel chili. But
I hear you.
But for you, like you said, you've been coaching for a while. you're here in upstate New York, the Rochester area. You and I connected, and we were talking about that you're not too far away, and we were agreeing on the fact that there's talent here in upstate New York and in central New York and the state of New York, and
Right.
that it needs to be seen. Now that you're the head varsity football coach at Gates Chili, what do you think that can do for you leadership wise in really showcasing and putting a spotlight even more so on the town? I know you've worked so hard to get those names out there and help out the kids and really be a part of paying it forward for the future. But how can you stepping into this role help you go even farther in putting a spotlight on our student athletes here in New York and making sure they get noticed?
Well, that's a good question. I think that just the fact that, I coached college football for 10 years at the Division I level. And so I've done a lot of recruiting myself, and I've built relationships with different coaches across really the East Coast, but I've learned what's important and what coaches are looking for. And when I refer a kid to a coach, hopefully a coach will be able to trust me and know that my own experience wouldn't lead them in the wrong direction. And I wouldn't waste their time with a kid who wasn't worth it. So if I could spotlight those kids that are, from our school and really from Section 5 and New York State all over, that's a positive thing. And, I've been at McQuaid Jesuit for 10 years before I got to Gates. And, we won 5 championships in a row. And, excuse me, my light went out. We won 5 championships in a row. Excuse me, Dan, let me turn on the light.
Yeah,
sorry.
Sure. Absolutely. No worries.
There we go. And, we've had 5 championships in a row. And I've learned how to do things at the high school level because of that experience. So hopefully my own experience will help point kids and recruiters in the right direction across the state.
Yeah, and you talked about spending a decade at McQuaid Jesuit and the success you had there. What do you take from that experience that can help right now?
Well, just building a culture and learning how to lead in the right direction, and game planning, the details of football. Really, when you coach high school football, it gives you a chance to have things to slow down for you, so you can really get into the details of the offensive line and the defensive line and everything that's going on in the trenches. Which is, I've always been an outside guy, so it was certainly an opportunity for me to learn in that aspect as well. But really, at McQuaid, it was about family and forget about me, I love you, and we built a culture there over the 10 years that our coaching staff was together. We built a lot of continuity. Because our staff was there together for almost 10 years. So, it was a good experience and it helped point me in the right direction. And I felt prepared for this job at Gates Chili because of that experience at McQuaid.
Yeah, and there's always that conversation of when's the right time, right? When's the right time to move on? When's the right time to take on an opportunity? What is the right opportunity? Why was Gates Chili for you to, like you said, build a culture, have continuity in coaching at McQuaid Jesuit, to have that for so long, to have that continuity, to have obviously a home that you felt like you were building something and a part of something? What made Gates Chili the right place, and what made this specific time here in 2024 the right time?
Well, that's a good question too, Dan. And the truth is that, I've been thinking about this job for 2 or 3 years, knowing that Coach Jason Benham, who had been here for a long time, 20 plus years as an assistant and now a head coach, and he's getting ready to retire as a teacher and a football coach. So knowing that was going to happen a couple of years ago, I started preparing for this opportunity. And so when I heard that he was going to actually do it and sign the papers to retire, I, immediately reached out and let them know of my interest. And the other thing is that, I'm from Chili, New York, which I went to Churchville Chili High School, which is the next town over from Gates Chili. So I still live in the Rochester area too. So in the Chili area, so it's close down the street, and it feels like home for me. And then plus we have a diverse group of kids here, and I just feel like they need opportunity and need more opportunity, and I'm hoping to bring that to them through building a culture and giving them the the tools to do what they need to do on and off the field to find success.
Speaking here today with our top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Andre Fontenette, Gates Chick-fil-A Spartans varsity head football coach and a Syracuse football alum. You played high school ball, you played college ball, and then, like you said, you have been a part of coaching staffs collegiately. You've been part of high school coaching staffs, and now you have this job. The journey that you've taken, Andre, to Gates Chick-fil-A, how does all of this put together what you said you've been thinking about and working toward, which is becoming a head coach? This is a big moment. It's a big moment to become a head coach at any level in any sport. And for you, you've been coached growing up, been coached in high school, been coached at Syracuse, then got into the coaching world collegiately, got into the coaching world in the high school realm, and now you're a head coach. What does all of these experiences do as a student athlete and as an assistant and part of a coaching staff? What does that do to make Andre Fontenette the head coach?
Well, I feel like that it builds trust. Experience builds trust in repetition. So we're gonna, hopefully build relationships with myself, the coaching staff. Some of the coaches are here in the school, so that's certainly going to help me out. But we really want to just build a culture, and I think that my experience in the past of coaching college ball and actually playing college ball brings a level of respect that the kids will give me and have given me already, and also the people within the school district as well. So we're trying to build something special, and I think that with communication and hard work, and our mantra is pride, which is a personal responsibility and daily effort. With that kind of pride and effort, we plan on doing the right thing.
Now, spending all that time, a decade at McQuaid Jesuit, Gates Chick-fil-A, are they on the schedule? Are we going to see this game?
No, hopefully we'll be able to do some things together in the off season.
Yeah.
But McQuaid is actually a Class AA school, whereas Gates Chick-fil-A is a Class A school. Yeah. So the only way that we would play McQuaid is if we happen to have a crossover game, which everybody has one crossover game per year. Yeah. But right now our crossover game will be the opening week against Rush Henrietta High School here in Rochester.
Because I'm looking at some of this history, and I know in other sports like wrestling and whatnot, we've seen the McQuaid Gates matchup. So just looking at that and thinking about that, and probably good for you though, right? So you go from one to the other, don't have to worry about that game coming up here. But why Gates? We talk about why this was the right time for you, and you knew that the coach was looking at retiring, and you were paying close attention to them. But what is it about the program at Gates Chick-fil-A? Why do you think that this can be a winning program? Why do you feel like this Spartans team is really the right fit for you and the right place for you to build something? Why specifically this school?
Well, the good thing is they already have a great cornerstone of the program. They have some of the best facilities in Section 5 in the area, probably across the state. Indoors, they have a beautiful weight room. It's huge. We've already started to utilize it with a great strength and conditioning staff. And we have a great gym. The football field is brand new. The Gates has always had a great field with the turf and the lights and everything. It's everything here that you could ask for. So having all the tools in the toolbox is something that was important to me, that, I wanted something that was already somewhat established, that I could build something new from something that was already had some tradition and had some value to it. So, Gates was definitely, like I said, on my radar. And as soon as it came open, I was excited. And, like I said, me and my dad have been talking about this for 2 years. So, we've been excited about it, and the opportunity, as soon as it came open, we've been talking about changing colors.
What did Dad have to say about this whole process, and just what this has all been like for you? And I smiled when you said Dad, because to me, when I hear people talk about their parents or their grandparents, here on this earth, and my grandfather's passed away when I was 6, and right. My grandmother's both. Thank you. My grandmother's both up in heaven and as well. And so, like every day I wake up, I take very seriously, and, can always be better about it, but I take very seriously. And the first thing I say, I thank God for waking me up. My dog's there in the bed with me. So I say, thanks for waking me up. Thanks for waking up Lily. And then I always say, I hope my mom and my dad pray that they're awake as well. When we have our parents here and get to celebrate time with them, and when we get older to continue to do that is special. So what have those conversations been like with Dad, and what does it mean to you that he gets to see this?
Well, it's been everything. My dad's been extremely supportive of me since I was a kid. I mean, I don't know too many fathers that this dude hasn't missed a game, like, since I was like 8 years old. Football, basketball, everything that I could want. I mean, he's been there to support me in terms of athletics and everything, on and off the field. So my mom too, my brother, everyone's been extremely supportive of me and encouraging me over the years, and traveling the games. Even when I didn't travel to games, they still showed support of me and of the team. So it's been everything. It's been great for him to be able to experience it with me. He won't stop talking to me about it. Like every day he has like 8 questions that have no relevance to him, but he still wants to know and he still wants to be involved. So it's been important to me. And, it's been great, and also I got a great wife, and I got a 2-year-old daughter. She just turned 2 a couple days ago, and everyone's been extremely supportive, and I appreciate it. And it's been a great experience so far. They've made it easy for me so far.
And I was going to ask you about that, Andre, just how your wife and your daughter, just what that was like. Like, bring me into when you found out that you officially got the job at Gates Chili to be their head varsity football coach, and how you kind of experienced that moment. And then, were you with your wife and your daughter, or if you weren't, what was that phone call like when you did get to talk to them to just bring us in there and let us be a fly on the wall?
Yeah. Well, I was actually at the house by myself at the moment. I was getting ready to go into work for the day, and I got a phone call. And once I got the phone, my first call after that was to my wife. And I just told her the news, and we were both ecstatic and kind of screamed for a minute and celebrated on the phone. But once she came home, it was a big hug and kiss and congratulations, and a lot of well wishes. And she's been extremely supportive. My daughter doesn't know exactly what's going on now, but she's learning to say Spartans, and it's been a great experience so far. And you can't do it without a lot of support from your wife and your family. You can't, because time away from home. During the season, you probably spend more time, on the weekends, where, Friday night you're playing, Saturday you're game planning, Sunday you're game planning. So, it's a lot of understanding and support that has to come from the house, and I get that. And it's been, she married into it knowing that was the experience, but it's been great so far, and I have no complaints, and hopefully neither does she.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's the support system that comes behind it. And I talk to coaches all the time about that, is, you got to have the right partner. You have to have somebody that, you can come home to and appreciate, and they're out there chasing their dreams, and, you got to, support them and be there with them. And I think that, something that I learned recently here, just the wording of it, but the feeling of it has been there for a long time. And it was that, you fight so many battles, whether you talk about it or not. You fight so many battles out in the world. You should never come home to a battlefield. And so it's important to really choose wisely who you share your life with. So what do you want to say? I want to shout out your wife here and spend some time on just what it means to have her as a partner.
Well, no, my wife's name is Carrie, and she's actually from Moravia, New York, and we met online, and we got together immediately about 2016, and we got married, 2015, excuse me, and then we got married in 2018, and it's been a great ride ever since. And when I started coaching, I've seen other coaches' wives, how they act and how they support their husbands, and how some of them don't. And I knew that when looking for a partner, had to be somebody who understood and supported. And she was definitely somebody who definitely check one of those boxes. And it's been great so far. And I know that I couldn't do it without her. And our daughter's been great. I can leave the house knowing that if I'm taking care of ball, the house is being held down and my daughter's being taken care of because she's a great mom and a great wife, and it's been a great ride so far. So, but like I said, you can't do it without support. You can't do it without, communication and just making sure things are done the right way. And that's what she's brought to the table for sure. And she was an athlete herself, so she understands. She played field hockey at Ithaca back in her day, and she understands what it takes to win a championship, and that's what our goals are. And she's been supportive of that.
Yeah, and you proved something that is very. I dislike so much online dating as a single man, but Andre, I mean, you and Carrie proved that it works. My buddy Ross and his wife Abby, they've proven it. My buddy James, and potentially, for him as well. So, and my big brother Joey. So we'll see. Sometimes
you never know.
It works, man. You never know. So
hey, man, all you got to do is swipe right, my man.
Hey, I'm just telling you, you're one in a billion. You and Carrie are one in a billion. But I do want to get into Syracuse a little bit here, Andre. And we're here with Andre Fontenette, a wide receiver alum of Syracuse football history and the new Gates Chili varsity head football coach. What's your take on this new era? I know we haven't played a game yet, but in the Fran Brown era, and you and I met through this, but one of my missions in my life is to make sure that any and every Syracuse football alumni that wants to come on to the show has an opportunity here and has a bridge to share their story. I reach out to so many, and I hear back from so many, which is, obviously credit to all of you. And that's how we met, is, just wanting to find guys from any era. I don't care if you played one down. I don't care if you were a Heisman hopeful or you were out there for a season. To me, everybody matters in this history. And Fran Brown, I asked him the question in the introductory press conference. I said, there's alumni here. There's alumni watching. What do you want to say to them? And he said, I want your presence. I want you to be around. He wants to see you in practice. Since these few months have gone by, I have heard from the alumni, no negatives, all positives, more alumni than I've ever seen, arguably at a game. And they were at the spring game just a little bit ago here. I was down with a bunch of alumni at a pregame for the Boca Bowl and got to celebrate with them down in Boca Raton, and did some shows with alumni at O'Brien's Irish Pub, which is right down the road from the stadium at FAU. So what are your thoughts as one of the Syracuse football alum of how Fran Brown has handled this? And if you feel like that drum that I've been banging and Robert Drummond's been banging and all you guys have of involving the alumni, if you feel like that drum's finally being heard.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of coaches have come in and said that that's what they wanted to do from day one, was, get with the alumni, embed themselves within the community. But he really has actually done that, and there's a lot more than action than words that's really taking place. And it's been a really fun watching what he's brought to the table with that. I've been back. I've been back once, but we had a formal invite to spring practice, which I went to. He had a Zoom meeting with about 200 or 300 alumni. I mean, guys that I never even heard of were on this Zoom, and also guys that were former NFL players and guys that weren't. Just a ton of alumni from all different years that he spent a good hour or so with on Zoom, and it was a fun chance to get to know him and meet him formally, and it's been a great experience with him so far. I'm really impressed. And then obviously with that brings excitement and transfer portal opportunities and recruiting opportunities, and it's been really fun to watch the immediate change that's happened. And from talking to Mr. Wildhack and our athletic director, I congratulated them. Joe Burton, those guys, they made the right choice clearly at this point, from everything that I've seen. It just hasn't happened on the field yet, but I think it's gonna.
Yeah, and another drum that has been very important for me to continuously utilize the sound of is recruiting the state of New York. We have seen him go to CBA down the road, Christian Brothers Academy in Syracuse, and get Dante Baccier, Darian Williams, and Matt Hahn. Went to CNS, another team that I cover heavily, and got North Stars offensive lineman Cartier Shepard. Now here you are in Rochester at Gates Chili, seeing the fact that he's already recruited upstate New York, that he's already recruited the state of New York, and that he sees value in these student athletes. What does that do in a unique stance that you have as you're an alum of the football program, and that connection is actually being made, and at the same time you're a head coach looking to get your guys to the next level? So what can you say about that piece of it, and the fact that we've already seen Fran recruit locally?
Well, the truth is that I've sent, a couple kids over the years that either were, thinking about walking on to Syracuse or, whatever they could do just at the university. And I never really got much of a response. But since Coach Brown has been around, I got a young man at my school at McQuaid who was thinking about going to Syracuse as, just as a regular student, but was a great kicker and thought about walking on. The fact that I reached out to Coach Campanelli and Coach Nunzio, and he reached out immediately and, built that rapport very quickly and accepted the fact that I was, I told him I was an alum. And, the fact that connection happened meant a lot. And it was an opportunity for us to just connect, and it worked out. So that's what hopefully will happen more and more as Coach Brown continues to recruit. And it's all about relationships and connecting. So just getting that going more and more within my own school, within the Rochester area, Section 5. Right now, I know there's a couple kids from New York State that they just got a commitment from a young man from Monroe High School here in Rochester. And, they have a D tackle currently on the roster from Buffalo. And there's also a couple other kids from the area as well. So as that continues to grow, I'm expecting more and more of that to happen. And it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm definitely going to support it as best I can. The more kids from Section 5 and Section 6 and from this Western New York area that we can promote, we're going to do that.
Coming here from Andre Fontenette, Gates Chili Spartans varsity head football coach just announced, and Syracuse football alum. We're going to jump into rapid fire in a second here, but to get your thoughts on Section 5 and Section 6 in Western New York, just what you could say about the talent there, not just at Gates Chili, but knowing the level of competition that is experienced in Western New York and what people should know about the state of New York and specifically Section 5 and 6.
Well, I think that the sport is growing, and I think that people need to recognize that just like you see all across the country where these kids are really putting in work to be, really honing on their craft, whatever it is, whether it's an offensive lineman, receiver, defensive lineman, quarterback, there are opportunities for them to get better in the offseason, not just with their high school, but these kids are hiring personal trainers now, and they're putting in effort. And I think that you got to respect it. And New York State football is growing. And, every year you see at least one or two kids that really break out, and you say, oh, that's a New York State kid. And, when you think about, a Mike Hart or something like that, there are kids that have national talent, Power 5 talent from the area. So, we got to promote that. And I think that if the kids continue to show the effort that they have, more of that's going to happen. And like I said, these kids are hiring trainers and doing everything else in the off season. So it's only going to get better and better.
So with that being said, and I appreciate that, let's jump into rapid fire. We're going to go back and forth with Andre here. Could be questions about football, could be about literally anything. No pressure to either one of us. We're just live to the world on YouTube and Facebook.com, both / WakeUpCallDT, and on audio on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So if one of us didn't answer something, the dead air will be very telling. Andre, what's your first question for me?
When are you going to meet somebody online?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, man. These people are crazy. These people are wild. I can honestly, I can say I've met some nice people, but a lot of the, and from my perspective, I'm speaking about women, but I've spoken to these women about men too. It goes both ways. a lot of people that are on dating apps, man, they don't know how to communicate, and it takes them forever. And I mean, I've talked to coaches about it. I've talked to people about it all different ages, and they're like, this person will text you a book, and then you meet them in public, they can't look you in the eye, they got nothing to say. So there's just, I mean, I think online dating has just, really shown me that the human condition needs to get boosted back up. I mean, there's some weirdos out there, man, and I've met more issues than I've met solutions. And when am I going to meet somebody? When God wants me to. But dude, it is.
Out there.
They say love is a battlefield. There are landmines in online dating. So,
that's a fact.
So my question to you is: before you met Carrie, did you meet a few landmines in the online dating world?
No, actually. I think I maybe went on one date online before I met Carrie. I was only online for a month or two, and we met, and that was it. It was a wrap.
I'm gonna cut the feed right now. This is ridiculous.
I'm sorry. It's the truth. That's what happened.
It's all
good.
That's
how it happened.
That's good, man. What's your next question?
What are you most excited about for this year for Syracuse football?
Fans getting re-energized, seeing my dome full again, hopefully. It's frustrating to me. There's some people that are so loyal. And I always tell people there's a difference between a fan and a fanatic. And a fan to me, and people have different definitions for fanatic, but just go with me on this for a sec. A fan could be upset. They could be frustrated. And they constructively criticize the team, but they still pay for tickets. They still watch the game. They still go. They still cheer. A fanatic got in a fight with his wife, can't yell at her because she'll kick him out the house. So he comes to the game and he screams at everybody, and he's got his finger in his belly button pulling out the lint and the popcorn that's in there saying that he's a better quarterback. So I don't want any more fanatics leaving in the third quarter. And I do have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. And I tell people this all the time. I said, you want to get the top recruits, but the recruits come to visit and they watch you leave in the third quarter. And they watch you leave when you're winning, and they watch you leave when you're losing. When the team's winning, I've been in a Florida State game. Florida State, when they played Syracuse first time in the ACC, they beat Syracuse, I think it was 59-3. Syracuse fans left. That stadium that's got like 90,000 seats, most of those Florida State fans stayed the whole time, kept drinking, kept cheering, kept eating food. They're like, why are we leaving? We're winning. This is great. We don't want to leave the stadium early because then we got to wait till next Saturday or 2 Saturdays from now when we're home again. And so, I mean, I would say I'm most excited about, I feel like fans are looking forward to this. But I want that momentum to stay because I was raised in a family of when you support something and you believe in something, you stick through the hard times. It's easy to be there in the good times, and I trust. If Fran Brown starts winning big games, teams 5-0, trust. There's going to be a lot of people in the stadium. But when that team struggles and that team has an off moment, that team has some adversity, does the media turn on him? Do the fans turn on him? Because the one thing that I could say coming from me is if you are a good person doing things with morals and values, I'm in the room with you. If you struggle, I'm there. Schaefer can attest to that. Dino can attest to that. Marone can attest to that. So I would say I'm most excited about the overall energy of Syracuse. But this is my city, and I'm going to ask y'all to do me a favor. And when you show up, do it all season, and let's build this thing together.
Right. That's right.
So
yeah, man, it was great watching just seeing all the alumni come back, man. Like I was, and the communication and the text messages going on and just people just, rebuilding relationships has just been great. And it's all happening because of, like you said, the rebranding and the reignition of the football program. It's been great.
Yeah. And my question to you is being on that Zoom call, tell me one memorable thing you took away from the Zoom call with Fran and 200 plus fellow alumni.
The number one thing I would say is Fran's realness. And I know it's kind of cliche of what people have been saying about him, but it's the truth. Like, it just felt like having, like, he's close to my age. I'm 42. He's a little younger than me. And I felt like I was just talking to a friend that I hadn't seen in a while. You know what I mean? It just felt very genuine and real. And he answered questions quickly and honestly. And it felt like, you know, he really was trying to build relationships with alumni, not just specific alumni, but everybody who was looking to speak to him, he was looking to speak to them back.
I love that. Love hearing that. And that's something that's I can say this to you right now. I can't say exactly what it is. It's going to be released later today, but what you just talked about is going to be talked about on Wake Up Call in a very unique way this Monday.
Okay.
I will say that. What's your last question for me?
My last question for you is, what is your expectation for Kyle McCord?
Throw touchdowns, baby. But no, I would say my expectation, you know, leave Ohio State where it was. I mean, learn from it. Obviously, you're at a big-time program. You got national exposure. Consider one of the top 10 teams in the nation year in and year out. Whether it was something that was earned or just kind of given. I mean, Ohio State definitely was always put up there. So I think he knows what it's like to be in front of a crowd that's for him. He knows what it's like to be in front of a crowd that's against him. And he, you know, knows what it's like to be in front of like 100,000 people at a game. So I would say, you know, the bright lights, my expectation is that the bright lights don't bother him. My hope is I should say my hope over expectation is that the bright lights don't bother him, because expectation, you always get let down. So I hope that the bright lights don't bother him. I hope that he learned something from being in a top 10 program. And I hope that, you know, this is not an ego piece at all. I hope that for him, this is a showcase to, you know, prove himself right, not prove other people wrong. I hope he's here to be a part of history that this team is building. I hope he sees value in Syracuse. I hope that, you know, he gives himself an opportunity for the NFL. I mean, really, what I'm looking forward to with Kyle McCord is just getting to see what is he like as a leader, what is he like in a crisis situation, what is he like in the huddle, what is he like when you speak to him before a game, after a game, you know, what type of general is he going to be, and what is this new chapter of his life going to look like? And I'm looking forward to being a part of him writing that chapter and getting to talk to him while he's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I got one more question before you go.
Yeah.
Who are you most excited about on offense and defense? Because just going to spring practice, obviously, Kyle McCord, you know, the ball came off his hand pretty well. But there was a kid there, number 8. I can't remember his name, but he was number 8. And man, that kid playing receiver just seemed like he was at a different gear. And then also, I'm excited to see Deuce Chestnut and see what he does on defense. So my question to you is, who are you most excited to see offensively and defensively?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. You know, I think I think you picked, you know, good ones here. I mean, having Deuce back and getting to interview him and see him come back, like, it's so great to have family back. And, you know, I don't know how other people see it, but that's how I see it, because I care. I mean, and you know this, I mean, I care about these guys, and I care about them far beyond, you know, did they score a touchdown? Did they get an interception? Whatever. Did they win? Did they lose? So for me, you know, seeing Deuce come back, my response to it is like, that's family. Like, you know, like, that's family. He left. That's not on my mind. I'm not like, oh, this dude was a traitor, da-da-da. No, seeing Deuce come home, like, that's what I see. You know, it's like one of the brothers came home. You know, one of the family members came home. And when your brother comes home, you greet him with a hug. And so I'm happy Deuce is back. I'm looking forward to that. I won't pick the same because you picked that, but I would say offensively, I'm looking for my guy to eat, man, LaQuint Allen. I mean, LaQuint's gotten bigger. He is, you know, he's always been fun to talk to. Him and I have a close relationship. I appreciate him like I have with a lot of the guys. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing what he can do in this offense and how he works with Kyle McCord. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And then outside of that, and you were talking about Zeke Haynes, number 8, the wide receiver that came into Syracuse out of Philadelphia.
Right.
So, I mean, so offensively, I would say LeQuint. Defensively, my first answer is King Joseph Edwards, but I'm also looking at Justin Barron. I'm also looking at Marlo Wax, two guys that I'm very close with that are back on this team, and Fadil Diggs as well, who's, coming in here with an opportunity to show the NFL why he should be there. So, I mean, it's hard for me to choose just one. My knee jerk was LeQuint on offense and King Joseph on defense, but seeing Arande come back on the field, be healthy, hopefully get himself to the NFL, and then see Justin Barrett and Marlo Wax hopefully give themselves an opportunity for the NFL. And I'm gonna throw special teams in. My guy, my kicker, Nate Trout. Shout out to Nate. Nate said to me, he was like, "You got to talk to Brady Denneberg." He got me on a Zoom with Brady Denneberg before Brady had an offer. We talked about why Brady should get an offer from Syracuse. Then Brady got an offer. We announced it on my show. Then Brady visited Syracuse. We did that on my show. Then Brady committed to Syracuse. We did that on my show. So Brady has made me a part of every milestone marker that he's had en route to where he is right now. And, I love Nate Trout, and my favorite Syracuse kicker ever, but Brady's right there, man. So I love Brady, and I just saw him at practice here in the spring, and he always takes the time. He'll see me, and it meant the world to me what he said. He came over to me, he smiled, and he's like, "Hey Dan," he's like, "What's up, Dan?" And I was like, "How you doing, man?" He came over, shook my hand, gave me a hug, and he was like, "Hey," he's like, "I want you to know," he's like, "I'm watching your work. I'm paying attention to the show." He's like, "You're doing some real cool stuff out there." He's like, "It's fun to watch." And
Right.
Stuff like that means the world to me, for sure.
When I was a kid going to Syracuse football camp, and Paul Pasqualoni was the head coach, so this probably was 96, 97, something like that.
Yeah.
They ended up giving me a jersey. I won a contest or whatever, and they ended up giving me a jersey from SU, and I still have it to this day. It's been 27 years. Nate Trout. Yep, I got a Nate Trout jersey from 1997, an original jersey that was given to me, and I still got it. Nate's one of my favorite guys.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Nate, if you're watching, you still owe me a jersey, and so 50% of this
he didn't give it to me. It was the coaching staff for
I
having
know, but no, I'm gonna no, because I'm supposed to see him maybe in a couple weeks. So Nate, I'm just saying 50% of this screen's got a jersey, and this show's called Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I ain't got no jersey behind me, so I don't know what that's about. But we'll figure that out, Nate. But I love you, buddy. He knows that. Andre, my last question for you is, if you were putting together an Avengers team of former Syracuse football players, who would be the Avengers? You got to pick. So there was an original 6. So you got to pick 5 guys, and you got to give them all a power, and then you got to give yourself a power.
Well, my 5 guys from Syracuse football, first thing I would do is start on the offensive line with Adam Terry, because he was probably he's a New York State guy, and he is probably one of the greatest offensive linemen, and obviously had great NFL success at Syracuse, or in the NFL as well. I put Donovan at quarterback, just because he could throw the ball and run the ball. He did it through the ground and the air. So he was, him on the field. Now, of course, myself, just because I felt like I could move the chains when I was given the opportunity, even though I lacked opportunity. But I thought that whenever I was given the opportunity, I took advantage of it. I would probably say the other players would be Will Allen on defense.
Okay.
Probably the greatest defensive back that's ever been at Syracuse. I know there's also Donovan Darius and people like that too. But I played with Will Allen, and I saw him with my own eyes. So he'd probably be the 4th one. And the last one would be Dwight Freeney. I also played with Dwight for 2 years, my freshman and sophomore year, and he made the difference of reason why we won 10 games in 2001.
Okay, so we got, including you, we got 5. So give me one more.
One more, I'd have to say one more. Oh, you know what? I would have to say Robert Drummond. Robert Drummond. Just because he's a New York State guy and knowing that he's a lifelong Syracuse fan and alum and a supporter, knowing that what he brings to the table, he would probably be on my list as well.
So now you got it. So these are the Avengers: Adam Terry, Donovan McNabb, Andre Fontenette, Will Allen, Dwight Freeney, Robert Drummond. What powers do you get? Who is who? What powers do you give to who?
Man, I wish I knew the Avengers like that.
or any superpower. You can give any superpower to yourself as well as these guys. So you can pick anything, X-ray vision, flight, teleportation, super strength. Who do you give to what? Or what do you give to who?
I think that the person who would shield everybody from blocking bullets or whatever's coming our way would be Adam Terry, because he obviously shielded the quarterback and was like a brick wall. Okay. I would say somebody who can disappear would be Donovan McNabb, because one way he's going left, next thing you know he's going right, and he's up and down the field in a flash.
Okay.
I'd say somebody who is going to be able to break into the bank and get the funds that we need and break into somebody else's lair would be Will Allen, because he's stealing the ball in the air. I think myself, I'd be the leader of the pack because, I feel like I bring that quality and I'm a head coach. So, I'm going to head coach that squad as well.
Okay.
And then I would say Robert Drummond, he would be the person that's ready to do the grind work, the things that other people aren't willing to do. He'd be the person that brings that to the table. So that would be my Avengers.
Okay, and what would Freeney have?
Oh, Dwight would be the do-it-all guy. Because the truth is, Dwight played defensive end, but he could probably played offense as well. So anything you need, Dwight would bring to the table. So that would be his superpower. Anything.
I like that. So that coming here from Andre Fontenette, putting together Syracuse football's Avengers. And, of course, putting together his team as he steps forward here as the Gates Chick-fil-A Spartans varsity head football coach, Syracuse football alum at wide receiver. And now you will see that GC and that awesome blue, shade of blue that he's going to have here for Gates Chick-fil-A as they step forward. Andre, you and I will stay in touch as we always do and continue the conversation. But once again, from Canine Camp Dog Daycare, as well as Canine Campground Dog Boarding, top dog of the week, from them to you, from me to you. Congratulations on being honored as our true top dog of the week on this wonderful experience for you and your family. Please give your wife a hug and your daughter a hug from me, and God bless you on this journey, man. I can't wait. And the only thing I would say is, when am I going to get a tour of Gates Chick-fil-A?
Hey, man, you come to the Rock, and I got you, man. You come and you'll definitely be very impressed with what they bring to the table and the facilities. And I appreciate you having me on, Dan, and we'll definitely talk soon.
All right, from the Heritage Hill Studios, Andre Fontenette, one more time, congratulations on the job. God bless, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, take care. That coming from Andre here, Gates Chick-fil-A head football coach for the Spartans, as we get to celebrate him as the top dog of the week, which means that Lily gets to do this at least one more time, right? Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. You will find Canine Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. You will find the campground right around the corner from them on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse. Both of these locations are right off the highway and right on the other side. If you see BJ's Wholesale Club on Bridge Street, on the other side of the street, go like you're going up the hill and make that first left before you go over the hill, and that will find you at Canine Camp Dog Daycare, and down the road at Canine Campground Dog Boarding. You can call the daycare at 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110, and get more information on the daycare by going to k-9kamp.com. For the campground for dog boarding, you can call them up, and you got to call them well in advance, folks. Well in advance. They were packed for Memorial Day very early here. So, you got to reach out to them and make sure you get in touch if you need something down the road and you know your dates. Call now because they only have so many cabins for our dogs here in the community. And for the campground, the number is 315-299-4013 to reserve a cabin for your dog for a longer stay. That's 315-299-4013. And of course, you can get more information on dog boarding by going to KAMP ground.com. Our top dog of the week, Andre Fontenette, Gates Chili, new head football coach for the varsity football program for the Spartans. We'll be back here from the Heritage Hill Studios on Wake Up Call right after this. Central New Yorkers, you can now enjoy the taste of Heritage Hill award-winning craft beers, seltzers, and a full bar at 3 locations. Spend your weekends at their beautiful location in Pompey with its amazing views, sunsets, family, and pet-friendly facilities, as well as extensive private event areas. Get their taps, tonics, and tastes in their brand new North Syracuse location at Sweetheart Corner in North Syracuse, New York. When flying in and out of Syracuse Hancock International Airport, make sure to visit their Palladino Farms location. At Heritage Hill, they believe in supporting our community and are excited to now meet you where you're at and where you're going with their local farm-raised tastes. Find out more information at heritagehillbrewery.com. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop sports card and hobby shop. In my opinion, they are the place, second to none, when it comes to their service, when it comes to what they offer, their passion and their connection to the world of sports and trading cards is something that I appreciate all the time. I've been there multiple times this week, and it's because of the people. That's what it comes down to. You know, we only have so much life to live. And when you have the life that you're living and you know, God woke you up today. To me, when you go out to a place like GG Cards and Breaks, it's time well spent. It's around people that care. It's around people that work hard. It's around people that try to do things the right way and help people and bring the community together. And it just really means a lot to me. Through GG Cards and Breaks, I found out just how many people, so many more people than I thought, are just lovers of sports cards and involve their families and are passing it down. And I love seeing it. All different ages, men and women, kids running around, trading cards, selling cards, buying cards. It's a beautiful thing to see. They have a monthly trade night where you get to see that on display. And of course, all throughout the year, we get to see everything that they do at GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York for packs and boxes and singles and graded cards. And they just updated their cases. So their display cases have all new graded cards. They have boxes full of graded cards. They have a new arrivals box. You never know what you're going to find in there. And they're the only sports card place that I know of that has every MLB, NBA, and NFL team in their own box, where you can go and say, hey, this is a player that I like, or this is a team I like, and you can go into that box and look for something special and have that one part of the sports card world that I think is incredible, which is the discovery part, right? Going through a box and trying to find something special, a diamond in the rough. Same thing when you open a pack, same thing when you open a box. There's nothing like opening a pack of cards or a box of cards or going through these boxes and looking for a card. There is nothing quite like that. It's special, it's unique, and it keeps us all big kids. And that's why I appreciate the work of Josh and Anthony and the entire team, Alex and Joel and everyone at GG Cards and Breaks. They're open 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 5 on Sundays. We'll see you over there at 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. With that being said, I got another note here that I want to, it's something that's been on my mind, and my official producer, Ross Turetsky, who's been on the show plenty of times, he sent me this message this morning, and I'm super ecstatic about it, so I want to share it with you all. Per CBC Sports, Toronto, and TSN put this out, Toronto has been awarded a WNBA franchise. They've been trying to do this. So, like, if you go back and look at my social media, I think I reposted stuff from a couple of years ago. Toronto, Ontario, Canada, who already has the Toronto Raptors, who became official in 1995 when they started playing. I believe their logo and everything came out in 94. The city of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, who already has the Raptors, has been awarded a WNBA franchise, which is looking to start playing in 2026. I'm already a fan. That's my favorite WNBA team. I said I was going to figure out my WNBA team. And, obviously I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark. I'm a fan of Breanna Stewart. But Toronto is my city. So I'm a fan of both of them and wherever they go. And, of course, I'm a fan as well of Diasia Fair, who's with the Las Vegas Aces from Syracuse. I am going to claim this as my franchise, though, because the Toronto Raptors, how many times do you get to do it twice? And I chose Toronto as my NBA team in their first season ever back at 95, and I am now claiming Toronto's WNBA franchise as my favorite WNBA team. So shout out to the WNBA and shout out to Toronto. I know that there's something they've been working on for a while, and I really was hoping that it came through, and I'm super excited to see this. So the fact that Ross sent this to me today is really awesome. So thank you, WNBA. Thank you, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I cannot wait to see. Now I'm excited. Like, what's going to be the name? What's going to be the logo? I'm already going to be buying stuff. I love my Raptor. I love all the iterations of the Raptors logos, and I have probably more Raptors gear than most of the stuff that I have of any of the teams. So I got a lot of Jacksonville stuff, though, as well. I am super excited. I cannot wait to see what animal we choose, what colors we choose, if it has any connection to that Raptor feel to it. So I'm very much looking. I want them to be their own team. I love the Raptors. And I love like I said, the logos and the designs and the OVO stuff with Drake. I'm super excited to see what this is going to look like, though. And so to the WNBA Toronto franchise, I'm already a fan. Please involve me in any discussions about logos and colors and names that you need. But I'm already a fan of the WNBA expansion team, Toronto. Cannot wait to see all the news that's coming up with that. I'm going to be paying very close attention to that, and I'll be very purposeful with that. So stay tuned, and I'm going to do what I can to get that information out to you. So God is great, and I know there'll be a path for that. So I'm looking forward to it. Big time thanks for watching and listening to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Of course, you can search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser.com, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on any one of these outlets. When you're there, make sure to click follow, subscribe. It's free. Then you can connect with the show. It'll update you. Your Alexa will do that as well, and your Google Home device. You can ask either one of them to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they'll do that for you as well. Thank you to everybody that's joined us on our many platforms, and thank you to everybody that will. Big time thanks to our incredible partners that you should visit in Central Upstate New York. Of course, our exclusive studio partner, Heritage Hill Brewhouse and Heritage Hill North. Heritage Hill Brewhouse on Sweet Road out in Pompey, New York, and Heritage Hill North right there at Sweetheart Corner on 628 South Main Street, North Syracuse, New York. Carvel DeWitt, our longest standing partner of over a decade. The Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, GG Cards and Breaks, Avicoli's, where we were for the last 2 nights and had 2 tremendous outings with Liverpool boys lacrosse, and the historic first ever team interview in the historic first ever season of the Liverpool Warriors girls flag football team. Big time thanks to Will Cutler and his student athletes for making last night a ton of fun. Shout out to Coach Sindoni of the football program for coming out, and some of the football student athletes at Liverpool for supporting flag football last night. And an awesome shout out to the Liverpool boys lacrosse team for being here this week with us at Avicoli's as well. An awesome night with Mike, Felice, and the entire crew. And of course, always have a ton of great memories with the boys lacrosse team. Girls lacrosse as well, a little bit before with Aaron Anderson. Of course, basketball, and just everybody that's been out. We've had swimming out there. We have featured bowling. We've had so many Liverpool teams, softball and baseball. So thank you to the many, many teams that we get to celebrate every month at Avicoli's with Liverpool High School. Of course, all the teams we get to celebrate at the Wildcat Sports Pub with West Genesee. The Wildcats, we've been together supporting West Genesee Wildcats and showcasing them for the last almost a full 8 years that we have done at the Wildcat, and it always means the world to me to be in the West Genesee community with the Wildcats and the fantastic coaches. We got a show coming up next week at the Wildcat Sports Pub on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. That is West Genesee Softball is going to join us again. They joined us last season. They're going to be with us Wednesday, May 15th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Can't wait to be on stage with them, and definitely appreciate them so very much. Of course, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Campground Dog Boarding, as well as Pizza Man, where we have our Baldwinsville Bees shows. Stay tuned for our next Baldwinsville Bee announcement. Love being out at Pizza Man. We just had boys lacrosse there and girls lacrosse before that. These are teams that vie for state titles after winning sectional titles. Made a lot of history in a short amount of time. Of course, Carl Sanfilippo and the football program. We spent a lot of time there together, and we've had basketball there. We have featured so many different teams and so many awesome student athletes and coaches, and I just love the experience out at Pizza Man. Love the Delia family and love their support. They come out to shows. They do so much for the community. They do so much for the Bees. Love being connected with Baldwinsville. And, of course, the Baldwinsville Bees and Pizza Man. Looking forward to our next show that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. Great Lakes Honda City, Mother's Cupboard, where you can get my sandwich, the Cuse McMother. We just did the Cuse McMother Challenge with Gwen, Pete, and myself. See who won by going to our social media, Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT, as well as the video is now airing on youtube.com/Wake Up Call DT. And for Heritage Hill, that we just started with being our exclusive studio partner on May 1st, Heritage Hill, we have our events coming up there as well this month with CNS. We will have their softball team at Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corner on Friday, May 17th. CNS softball will join us at 6 p.m. And on Thursday, May 23rd, we'll be back at Heritage Hill North with CNS girls flag football with their historic first team interview on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call. You will find the Dolphins on Wednesdays during Dolphin Time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. First and third Wednesday of each month, AD and DT, featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Second and fourth Wednesday, you'll dive into the stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni in our Dolphin Dive segment, and you will find all of this content by going to youtube.com/Wake Up Call DT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and look for the Lemoyne Dolphins playlist on our YouTube channel. The Dolphins are also right there on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage, as well as underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com, and as always, fins way up. I got to do it like Dr. Linda Lemura, the president of Lemoyne. She always does her fins up, and she does it in a big way. She doesn't say fins up. She goes, fins up, and she puts that fin right up in the air. Passion, dedication, faith, perseverance, kindness, goodness, where greatness meets goodness. That's what Lemoyne's all about, and it's an honor to work with them. And you should take a trip over to Lemoyne today and see what I'm talking about. Fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. The Bobcat Buzz is exclusive to Wake Up Call. The spotlight we put on the Bobcats, you will only find right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You could find the Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse at 2 locations. So if you're looking to finish your degree or start your degree, get a new degree, or you're a student athlete that still has some eligibility left, you can find the campuses of Bryan and Stratton here in Syracuse at James Street in Syracuse, New York, as well as out in Liverpool right off of Route 57 there on Oswego Road across the street from Avicoli's. So you'll be eating good and getting a great education. The Bobcats join me for men's and women's soccer, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and esports throughout the year. Student athletes, coaches, and administration giving us the spotlight on a fantastic, unique, and special gem in our community. This gem is colored blue and green, and it is an amazing, amazing piece of who we are as Central and Upstate New Yorkers. The Bobcats are special to my heart. There are great people working behind the scenes and in front of the scenes when it comes to Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, and I could not be happier to work with such an amazing group of people doing amazing things in our community and beyond. They are recruiting from all over the world, and because of Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse, I've been able to talk to people from places that I never thought I would have any connection to. It's an honor and a privilege to be connected to the Bobcats. Find them on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. The BSC Syracuse playlist is there for you to look at our content with the Bobcats over the years. You can also find the Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. You will find the Binghamton University Bearcats during Bearcat Time, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and the specials we bring you every single month are Moments with Marshall, featuring Binghamton University Athletics Director Gene Marshall, and the Bearcat Break Room, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration from throughout the athletic world with Binghamton University. So much success with the softball program, with the women's lacrosse program that's got their game coming up today at 2 p.m. They're going to be at Yale inside of the 2024 NCAA Women's Lacrosse Division I tournament. Shout out to everybody, Stephanie Allen and all the student athletes making history, defeating UAlbany for the first time in program history, co-regular season champions for the first time in program history, America East postseason champions for the first time in program history. A lot of great stuff going on, and I don't think they're done yet. Softball is doing a tremendous job. Seeing baseball and what they've done here recently. Awesome spring sports things. Obviously, a shout out to men's lacrosse. Awesome work with the men's tennis team making it to the NCAA tournament after winning the NEC in their first season in the NEC. And we had Nick Zazula, the head coach, on the show in a bonus Bearcat Break Room this week that happened yesterday. You can go back and watch that on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell for all of our Binghamton content. You'll find the Binghamton Bearcats playlist on our YouTube channel. You'll also find the Bearcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage. Look for the big B, and underneath the exclusive partners tab on wakeupcalldt.com as well. For more information, go to bubearcats.com and go Bearcats, including today with women's lacrosse in the NCAA tournament. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Heritage Hill Studios, I love saying it, Heritage Hill, Sweet Road, the Brew House in Pompey, and Sweetheart Corners. You'll find Heritage Hill North on 628 South Main Street in North Syracuse. Go and visit them today, over the weekend. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. Heritage Hill, a notable name in our community, local family, local products, serving the local community all throughout the week. Big time thanks to Heritage Hill for believing in Wake Up Call. Thanks to Dan Palladino and his team. And a big time shout out to everybody that supports local and goes out to Heritage Hill, as well as to all of our wonderful and beautiful companies we get to work with. Ma and Paz brought you the list of topics as they always do and what's poppin'. And a big time shout out to what I consider the snack capital of the world for your sweet and savory flavors that you need. All of those wonderful snacks are at Ma and Pa's, 201 7th North Street, with something for everyone in Liverpool, New York. Thank you to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Thank you to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, learn, evolve, ad lib, and deliver. Thank you to Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, both of East Syracuse, for the top dog of the week. And thank you to our top dog for joining the show today, Andre Fontenette, and for Gates Chilai giving him an opportunity as a head coach for the varsity football program for the Syracuse wide receiver Alum. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Find us. I got a huge announcement coming up today, and you will find it on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. That'll be coming to you, so make sure you follow us, subscribe, like, whatever you got to do to connect with our social media. And as always, my wonderful people out there, my friends of the listening world, the broadcasting world that you're watching, you're listening, you're reading. Thank you so much. And Alan says he's good with Deuce Chestnut. Love that too. Shout out to Alan down in Boca. Much appreciation for being a longtime listener and supporter and for connecting me to the Boca community in a special way. God bless you all. Minimize that stress. I hope you have little to no stress. Let's work on that, because stress and worrying never solved a problem. And please always understand that your best is good enough for God, so it should be good enough for you and for those that truly care about you. God bless, no stress, do your best. From the Heritage Hill Studios, this is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You are amazing. And yes, Lil Sis Franny, I'm wearing a wolf today because of you. I love you.